Something unusual just happened inside the US military. An elite American combat unit, trained to deploy anywhere in the world within 18 hours, just had its major training exercise suddenly cancelled. No explanation, no warning, and now thousands of paratroops from the 82nd Airborne Division are sitting on alert at Fort Bragg. At the exact same time, the United States is escalating its war with Iran. So the question now being asked inside military circles is simple. Is America preparing to send ground troops into Iran? For the past week, US forces have been striking Iranian targets across the region. But so far, there's been one major line the United States hasn't crossed, and that is putting boots on the ground. Now, a sudden move involving one of America's most famous combat units is raising new questions. The 82nd Airborne Division is not just another military unit. It's one of the US Army's fastest and most aggressive rapid deployment forces. When a crisis explodes anywhere in the world, the 82nd Airborne goes first. Their soldiers parachute behind enemy lines, they seize airfields, secure key infrastructure, protect embassies, and evacuate civilians when situations collapse. At the centre of this capability is the division's immediate response force, roughly 4,000 to 5,000 troops trained to deploy within 18 hours, which is why what happened this week is raising alarms. The Army had planned a major training exercise for the unit. Thousands of soldiers were preparing to train at Fort Bragg in Louisiana, but suddenly the Department of War cancelled the participation of the 82nd Airborne headquarters element just days before the exercise. No detailed explanation was given. Some soldiers continued training, but the majority of the rapid deployment force remained at Fort Bragg in North Carolina, combat ready and waiting for orders. One official familiar with the situation told reporters, "We're all preparing for something just in case." And that statement sparked immediate speculation. Right now, the United States is already engaged in a growing conflict with Iran. For the past week, US forces have launched major air and naval strikes. American officials say they have gained significant control of Iranian airspace and waterways, but the fighting has already taken lives. The US-Israeli war effort against Iran included a strike on a school in Minab that may have killed upwards of 175 people. US military investigators reportedly think that American forces carried out the attack in what analysts and human rights officials believe is the deadliest incident for civilian casualties since the war began. 6 Americans have also been killed in the fighting so far. These deaths were the result of a drone strike on a US installation in Kuwait. Despite the escalation, the US military has avoided one step, and that is sending troops into Iran itself. Officially, the White House says ground troops are not currently planned. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt told reporters boots on the ground are not part of the plan at this time, but she also made something clear: the president is not ruling it out.
It's not part of the current plan, but I'm not going to remove an option for the president that is on the table.
President Donald Trump echoed that message in an interview, saying, "Every president says there will be no boots on the ground. I don't say that."
Trump tells the New York Post, "I don't have the yips with respect to boots on the ground. Like every president says there will be no boots on the ground. I don't say it."
He suggested Iran may already be weakened enough that ground forces may not be necessary, but he did make it clear, if they were needed, the option is there. If that moment ever comes, the 82nd Airborne would almost certainly be among the first units deployed. This is exactly what they're designed for. It's happened before. In 2021, they helped evacuate Americans during the chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan. In 2022, they were deployed to Europe when Russia prepared to invade Ukraine. And in 2020, they reinforced security at the US Embassy in Baghdad after the killing of Iranian commander Qasem Soleimani. So when the 82nd Airborne suddenly stops training and goes on alert, military observers pay attention. Right now, there are no official orders sending the 82nd Airborne to Iran, but the situation remains volatile. The Pentagon has refused to discuss future hypothetical operations, and the division's rapid reaction force remains ready to move. Which means if the conflict escalates further, if embassies need protection, if infrastructures must be seized, or if American citizens need evacuation, thousands of paratroops could deploy within hours. For now, the United States continues its war with Iran from the air and from the sea, but history shows that conflicts can change quickly, and sometimes the first sign of a major shift is when elite units quietly stop training and start preparing for war. If you like this video, please hit subscribe and like, and I'll catch you in the next one.